letter hinted that outside forces were responsible. And he vowed that he'd never give up trying to find out the truth, no matter what the truth was.
It's interesting that he's so preoccupied with his father's death, huh?
Yes, it is.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, kids.
Hello. Put some more plates on the table.
Thank you, Nancy, but we've already had dinner.
Kelly took a chance on my cooking skills.
Oh?
He's still standing.
I sure am.
Well, please, do sit down. Oh, we're not interrupting your dinner hour, are we? No. We're just having a drink, waiting for our dinner to be finished.
Would you care for something? Valerie? Kelly?
Oh, no, thanks. I won't stay long. It's just that I was hoping that you and Mrs. Carr might have some ideas on something that's very puzzling.
What is it?
You remember that letter from my father? Look at the date.
12/28. 79. But you told me your father wrote this just before he died.
He had to have written it from prison. And then the other thing I don't understand is that my father always used the European form of writing the date. He would write the number of the day first and then the number of the month.
That's what we don't understand.
It's obvious that he was pretty upset when he wrote that. I mean, his handwriting is very shaky, but...
Well, do you think he made a mistake because he was so distraught?
Maybe. I don't know what to think.
Well, that's possible, of course, but old habits are difficult to break. Especially an old habit like putting the day before the month.
Yes, but honey, this indicates that it was written in 1979. That's over a year and a half ago. This is the letter that was hidden in the suitcase.
So he must have had a reason for hiding it. Now, if there's no interest in this letter to anyone but Valerie, and obviously there isn't, then maybe these numbers mean something else, something he wanted only Valerie to know.
What, a code of some kind?
But a code to what?
I don't know. But let's just pull something out of the hat. Combination to a lock? Telephone number? Or maybe even the numbers of a Swiss bank account.
Is it all right if I leave now before Mr. and Mrs. Whitney get home? It's getting late.
Oh, what do you want to leave now for? We've got the house all to ourselves.
My mother's expecting me.
Oh. Well, all right. Go ahead, kid. Take off. Oh, wait. Give my regards to your mother.
For heaven's sakes, why should I do that? She doesn't even know you.
Well, she just might someday. Yeah, she just might.
That's it, honey, yeah. That's it. Bend to the knees a little bit more. You'll be great for the club. How are you? I love it. Hey, look, don't just spot for you. Hey, look, keep your shoulders and your knees right. Now give me a full rotation. Loosen up. Full rotation. Anything for you. I love it. Now bend the knees when you go down. Stay loose. Real loose with the shoulders. You got it. I love it. That's it. Oh, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
I love it here.
Yeah. Okay, why don't we both take a little break, huh? Sure. Give me 10. You work very quickly, my friend. I'm grateful. You have them?
Here. They match perfectly.
Your contribution is much appreciated. What I need, if you've got it, is an electric device.
Don't tell me anything more, please. I don't want to know. Please, just give me my money.
Here we are. Keys to the Whitney house.
So, that's 3 altogether, then.
Yes, that's right. And I would like to pay cash.
Oh, all righty.
You have waited here so long for me to finish. It's very kind of you.
Oh, not at all. It's the least I can do. That comes to $4,500.
Oh, okay. There is a little more than that here, but I would like for you to have it. You've done me so many favors.
Oh.
Besides, I almost lost it all today, and I might as well spend it all.
What do you mean?
I had the most horrible experience outside your shop.
What happened?
Well, this little rat came up, and he grabbed my purse, and he went running off, and then this guy standing next to me ran after him, and he got the purse back, but the thief had disappeared.
Oh, how perfectly awful. There's so much of that these days, which is not safe anywhere. I'm so sorry.
Well, anyway, I got everything back, so it's all right.
Good.
My husband is going on a business trip tonight, so, since he gave me all this money to spend, I guess I'd better go kiss him goodnight. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You finished packing, Gunther. We've got to be leaving in about an hour. Yes, sir. All set to go for you. Oh, by the way, Miss Whitney, you might be interested in these. Some guy dropped by here this afternoon and left Mrs. Whitney's keys.
You wanted a dancer? Did I get you a dancer? The best. The very best.
He said someone tried to snatch Mrs. Whitney's purse this afternoon. He happened to be near there, so he ran the thief down and got the purse back. He said that she probably dropped the keys when she was checking the contents.
Did she get hurt?
No, I don't think so.
Anybody call the police?
Well, the guy didn't say. It must have happened just before I saw them in this neighborhood place, having a drink together.
What place?
Well, it's a bar that I go to sometimes for a beer and a game of darts.
Well, that's quite a coincidence.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the guy must have been telling the truth, Mr. Whitney, because I questioned him after Mrs. Whitney left. And he said that she insisted on paying for the drinks as her way of saying thanks. Said he didn't want a reward.
Generous man.
Yeah. Well, I guess there was no harm done.
Yeah, well, why don't you bring these bags downstairs to the car, Gunther? I'll ask Mrs. Whitney about it when she comes home.
Yes, sir.
I guess you're right, though. No harm was done.
Sammy Wheaton, step out. Age 23, 8 counts of purse.
Yeah, spare us the litany, Sarge. This one's mine. Oh, Sammy, you're not looking too good, pal.
I don't feel too good.
No wonder. What happened to all the promises not to do anything to jeopardize that shiny new probation?
I was busted for nothing. He was picked up for brawling, disturbing the peace in a bar when the bartender refused to serve him.
He didn't have no right to refuse me a drink. My money's as good as anybody's. You should have busted him, not me.
Money? You never have more than 2 nickels to rub together. Where'd you get money?
Now, that's real interesting, Stoner. This guy had $100 on him when he was picked up.
100 American dollars. Where'd you get all those dollars, Sammy?
I won him, Stoner.
Won 'em where?
Off-track betting parlor.
Certainly must have been your lucky night.
What did you say this guy's specialty was, Calvin?
What else? Purse snatching. Believe me, he is one of Monticello's finest.
Oh, that's interesting. We had a taxi driver call today on a report on attempted purse snatching in front of a dress shop. I gotta check up on this.
Okay, Sarge, walk him out. I don't know if it'll do any good, Tyler. All the stores are probably closed by now.
That's Darwin's Dress Salon. No, I think some of the stores are open late tonight.
Miss Darwin's salon?
Yes, may I speak to the manager, please?
This is the owner, Miss Darwin speaking.
Oh, hello. I'm Detective Damian Tyler from the Monticello Police Force.
Oh, my, yes, Detective, what can I do for you?
Yes, we had a purse snatching reported in front of your establishment today. I was wondering if you could maybe give us some more details.
I'm sorry, I knew absolutely nothing about it until a few minutes ago.
Oh?
Oh, yes, well, a customer of mine was in here just now, and she said that a man grabbed her handbag from her today, right in front of my shop. Can you imagine? Well, fortunately, she got it back with everything in it.
Oh, how's that?
Oh, well, a nice man was close by when it happened, and he managed to run after the thief and snatch it from the snatcher, as it were.
I see. Now, can you tell me who this victim was, your customer?
Oh, one of my very best customers, Mrs. Schuyler Whitney.
Raven.
After tomorrow morning, Raven. That's all I'll have left of you. That's my last Duchess painted on the wall.
looking as if she were alive. She had a heart, how shall I say, too soon made glad, too easily impressed. She liked whate'er she looked on, and her looks went everywhere. Oh, sir, she smiled, no doubt, whene'er I passed her. But who'd passed without the same smile? This grew. I gave commands. Then all smiles stopped together. There she stands as if alive.
Mr. Whitney, the car's almost packed. Mrs. Whitney.
Oh, darling, I'm so sorry. I just lost track of the time. I did as you suggested and went shopping.
Oh, good, I'm glad. Jeff, hon?
Yes, I did, as a matter of fact. And I have $19 and 34 cents left.
$19.34, huh? Well, why didn't you spend the $19.34?
Because I want to be thrifty.
Well, I'm glad that you came home. I couldn't really have gone away without saying goodbye to my wife. How could I? Oh, incidentally, here are your keys. The man dropped them off who retrieved them earlier today.
So you found out about this?
Yeah, he told Gunther when he came with them. You weren't hurt, were you?
No. Well, I must admit I was a little bit careless. But I'm okay, thank heavens.
Thank heavens is right. I'm going to be at the Hotel Bentley if you have to get in touch with me.
Well, you'll call tonight, won't you?
Well, it doesn't look as if we're going to get in until after 11, and, well, I wouldn't want to wake you.
I don't mind.
Sure you would. I know what you're like when you're wakened in the middle of a deep sleep. You're like well, you're madder than hell. But I promise I'll call first thing in the morning.
Where's Chrissy?
Oh, she's got the night off. She went to visit her mother.
Oh, that's right. She told me that. She told me that.
Oh, I'm sorry. That means you're going to be all alone.
Well, I'm pouting now, but I'll be okay.
You didn't invite anybody over tonight, did you?
No. I'm much too tired. I think I'll just look at my dresses and get something to eat and watch some television.
You know, this is going to be our first separation.
Well, I'm sure it won't be the last, Mr. Whitney.
Oh, no, it will be the last.
Promise?
I promise it will be the last.
I wonder if I should put a brass nameplate on this portrait. But what name would I use? Raven Whitney or Raven Brown?
My last Duchess. Not tonight.
Tonight, on the WMON 11 o'clock news, see a special report with new information about Dr. Kenneth Bryson, the physician who changed the face of crime.
Now that I want to see.
Yeah. Anything you need or want me to do for you this evening?
No.
Want me to make some calls for tomorrow's appointments?
Look, Gunther, well, go to a movie or go to bed, do whatever you want, all right?
Mr. Whitney, you haven't said anything about tomorrow's schedule. What time will you need the car?
I don't know if there are going to be any business meetings tomorrow, Gunther. Depends on what I find out in the morning.
I see.
Gunther, if you really feel you must do something for me, go down to the lobby and get me a newspaper.
Yes, sir, Mr. Whitney.
Your time has run out, darling.
Good evening, Mrs. Whitney. I thought you might need some police protection.
Come in. What makes you think that I need police protection?
Well, I happen to know that you were the victim of a purse snatching this afternoon.
Oh, you do? How'd you find that out? I didn't call the police. Perhaps I should have.
Yes, it's best to report these things. Sometimes we can put pieces together that fit the pattern of a particular suspect.
So how'd you find out? Do you have ESP?
I wish I did. No, actually, a taxi cab driver saw the whole thing, and he gave us a description that fit a guy named Sammy Wheaton that we brought in on a different charge.
Oh, so you think he's the one that stole my pocketbook?
Yes, I do. I called Miss Darwin at the dress shop, and she said you were the victim. So I thought I would come in here and get the details from you this evening, if it's all right.
Sure.
Is, Mr. Whitney at home?
No. Mr. Whitney is in Chicago on business. I'm really sorry I made your work harder by not reporting it. But I didn't report it because this guy was standing there with me, and he saw the whole thing happen, and he ran off and got my purse for me.
Oh, genuine hero.
Yeah.
Well, we don't get many of those kind these days. He didn't happen to give you his name, did he?
Yes, he did. He told me his name was Romeo.
Romeo? Sounds like an alias to me. Are you sure nothing was missing from your purse?
Yeah. I had a lot of money, too. It was all there. I guess the guy didn't have time to take it, thanks to Romeo.
What about your house keys? You know, sometimes these guys will take a purse for the keys for a robbery.
No, the keys were returned. So I guess there's nothing to worry about. Although I was scared for a little while, but everything's okay.
It can be a frightening experience. I'm sorry you had to go through it.
No? Sorry you came here for nothing?
Well, maybe you can come down and identify the suspect at headquarters.
Sure. Tomorrow?
Thank you.
Thank you. For all the trouble.
There's no trouble at all, I assure you. It's very nice to see you again, even under these circumstances.
Nice to see you. I think the last time I saw you was my wedding. My wedding. And in fact, we even had a little dance, didn't we?
Oh, yes, we did. I remember it very well.
Yeah. I also remember that you were alone.
Yes, I was.
Don't you have a girlfriend?
Well, you see, a lot of women tend to shy away from my particular occupation. And some women are unobtainable. That's new, isn't it? That portrait, that wasn't here the day of the wedding.
No. My husband had that commissioned for me as a surprise. Do you like it?
No, I don't.
You're bold, aren't you? Why not? It's a beautiful picture. It looks just like me.
Well, there's a likeness, but something's missing. I think it's your spirit.
Oh. Don't tell my husband that.
Look, I know I don't have any right to say anything. I don't have any right to ask you any questions at all, but I'm compelled to ask you anyway.
What? Don't look so somber. It can't be that serious.
Oh, I know you haven't been married very long. How long's it been? 3 weeks?
Yeah. Why?
Well, I wonder. How do you feel about him now? I mean, how much do you think you really know about Schuyler Whitney?
Why do you ask that? Do you know something about him that I don't?
Quite possibly I do.
Now, Clarence, I'm very sorry to be calling you at this time of night, but I'm here working on the budget. After all, you are the accountant, and I must say that some of these figures you sent me from last year are very confusing. One more hour of this, and I'll have to call an ambulance to get home. Yes, Clarence. Yes, the Queen is in her counting house. Oh, my, you are a caution. Now, if you can just straighten me out on some of these advertising figures, the whole thing will fall into place. Clarence, I did use the calculator. It's made 3 mistakes. Clarence, I have a wonderful idea. Why don't I just take all of these papers and put them in a shredder? Well, why not? They do it in Washington. Oh, all right. I'll have to call you later. Goodbye. Now, where am I going to get a shredder at this time of night? Yes?
Good evening, Geraldine.
Kelly, what on earth are you doing here? I thought you'd left long ago.
Well, to tell you the truth, I felt kind of guilty about taking most of the afternoon off. And you told me you were going to work late tonight. I figured I'd stop by and see if I could make myself useful.
My dear boy, unless you have a degree in accounting, you can be no help to me at all, but thank you for the thought.
I'm pretty good at figures.
What are 2 and 2?
4.
You're hired. My poor secretary was here until 8 o'clock this evening. When she started turning blue, I decided to let her go home.
Blue? Let me help out.
Kelly, I have been married to this calculator all evening long, and frankly, I want a divorce.
Oh, I know how to use that one.
Well, there, see what you can do with it. But be careful of that one. It makes mistakes.
Oh.
Here, you can start with these.
Fine.
But before you do, answer a question.
Sure.
I couldn't help noticing that you're much more cheerful this evening than you were all during the day. Have you had some good news of some kind?
No, actually, today was a day full of bad news.
Then what do you attribute your good cheer to?
Well, there's no use in crying over spilled milk, is there?
Oh, you're quite right, too. And let it be the last time I hear you use that horrendous cliche.
I promise. Let me see the rest of these figures. That's a picture of Valerie Bryson.
Yes, Nicole is going to do a special feature on Dr. Bryson this evening. She thought she might use a photograph of Valerie on camera, but I think she's decided against it.
Well, I'm glad she decided against it. I mean, Val's still suffering from her father's death. She certainly doesn't need that kind of publicity.
I agree. Valerie doesn't need any kind of publicity right now. You're very protective of her, aren't you?
Yes, I guess I am.
Mm-hmm. Is there more here than meets the eye?
You're very wise, Mrs. Saxon.
I know. Except about budgets. Now, what you have there will wrap the whole thing up. Once you have finished that monumental labor, then I'm home free. That being the case, I think I'll feel free to go home right now.
Well, listen, don't you worry about this. I'll have it for you in no time, and I'll leave it on your desk.
Kelly, in the language of the streets, you really have your act together.
Thank you, Gerald.
Just don't think it's fair for you to tell me that you know something about my husband and then not tell me what it is.
I just have a feeling that some of your husband's companions when he was living overseas were of questionable character at best.
Questionable character. Do you mean that they had something to do with that cover-up with Martine Duval's husband?
All right. It's unfair of me to make vague accusations about something that I can't prove. As yet.
As yet? Why do you seem so eager to pin something on my husband?
I'll tell you the truth. If I can prove that your husband was involved in something illicit, perhaps you'll become just a little bit less inaccessible. Well, I'd better go. I'm glad that you came to no harm this afternoon.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming by.
You still have my card?
Hi. Somewhere.
You sure you know where it is? And if you need me for anything, please call me.
I wonder if he thinks that Sky is really Jeff Brown.
chance and see if you're still up.
Yeah, how are you?
Safe and sound in Chicago. And you?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm so lonely. This house is so big and empty.
Yeah, well, it won't be for long.
Do you miss me?
Yeah. Yeah. More than I thought I would. I didn't realize how difficult the separation is.
Why? Why is everything spoiled when it started out so perfect?
What do you mean? There's nothing that's spoiled. It's just a temporary separation, just for a night or two. I'll make it up to you. I promise I will.
I want to be with you. I should have come. I should have insisted.
Yeah, but I don't know what I'm going to find here tomorrow, and well, I'll feel freer doing my business, knowing that you're not here hanging around waiting for me.
I don't care. I should have come there. I want to be with you now. I want to be in your bed.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
I want you to tell me that everything's okay. And that nothing has changed. And that you're still the man that I married.
Oh, Raven, I am. I'm still the same man you married. Believe that. I'm still the same man who loves you. I want you to know that whatever happens, I love you. I love you more than I thought it was possible to love anyone.
Sky.
Raven, look, I've got an important phone call to make. I'll talk to you later.
No,
Goodbye. Oh, my God.
Warn her that she'd know that I planned it all out.
Room 611. Gunther? Get the car. I said, get the car!
Calling you to thank you again for tonight.
Oh, it's a pleasure to see Valerie anytime.
You know, I've been thinking a lot about our conversation about my father's letter.
So have I. And, you know, I really don't think that you should consider those numbers as simply a date, because the more I think of it, the more I think that they signify something else.
Mrs. Carr, I don't know what to think. It's all so mysterious.
Wow. Mike might very well be right. It's possible that they could signify a Swiss bank account.
But I don't even know how to begin to find out something like that. I can't very well go to every bank in Switzerland and make inquiries. And even if there was an account, wouldn't my father have to sign for the funds?
Well, I think that they would have to release the funds to you if you show them proof of his death. But in any case, we'll give it a great deal more thought.
Oh, Mrs. Carr, I appreciate your help and advice a lot.
Well, Valerie, I called for another reason.
Oh?
I was talking to Nicole Cavanaugh, and she told me that she's doing a special report on your father at the 11 o'clock news tonight. And I just thought that I should warn you. I mean, just let you know in case you wanted to see it or not. Whatever is your preference.
Well, thanks for telling me in advance. I think I will watch it, though. Somebody's at the door. I have to go.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks again for calling.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Coming.
Hi, Cliff. What a surprise.
Hi, Valerie. There's going to be a broadcast about your father on the television tonight.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I thought you might need a strong, masculine figure standing resolutely by your side. Somebody like me?
Good evening. This is Nicole Drake. There is new information tonight in the case of Dr. Kenneth Bryson, the famous plastic surgeon who allegedly, quite literally, changed the face of crime. Dr. Bryson died of a heart attack in Monticello General Hospital 10 days ago. And through the efforts of an investigating team headed by Monticello attorney Draper Scott, new information has been uncovered which reveals the name of at least one of Dr. Bryson's famous clientele. He is Alfonso Aguilera, South American dictator presumed to have been assassinated by rebel forces during his government's overthrow 14 months ago. Mr. Aguilera is thought to have been a patient in Dr. Bryson's Lucerne, Switzerland clinic and may be currently living in the United States with a new name, a new identity, and a new face.
Wow,
This
Valerie.
evidence is the
That
first
South American
breakthrough
dictator must have
which
paid your
reveals
father
the
a fortune
celebrity
to get
of
a new
Dr.
identity.
Bryson's clientele.
Wonder what happened to that money.
We'll be back with
Did you
more
ever
on
figure
this subject after these messages.
Well, actually, no. Not until recently.
Government sources for information concerning the investigation have refused to name names of other famous clients of Dr. Bryson's. But in the meantime, the search for Alfonso Aguilera is centered in the Florida area. Much of the investigation is shrouded in mystery. What is known, however, is that Dr. Bryson's clientele consisted almost exclusively of members of international crime syndicates and terrorist groups, all seeking anonymity. It is unknown and may never be determined how many identities were changed, both here and abroad, by the remarkable skill of Dr. Kenneth Bryson. Uncovering the name of Alfonso Aguilera undoubtedly is only the first of many internationally famous people to be revealed. It is also known to investigators that some clients notable in the underworld sought a change of identity in Dr. Bryson's plastic surgery clinics. There is some evidence that clients paid monumental sums to have their faces altered, to escape detection and the pursuit of legal or political enemies. The investigation, which was begun in Switzerland by the Swiss authorities, has spread throughout Western Europe and now the United States. The search goes on.
What would people say if they knew that Schuyler Whitney, Monticello businessman, society figure, impresario, recently married to Raven Alexander, also had been a patient of Dr. Kenneth Bryson's? And that Schuyler Whitney, my husband, is sitting in the middle of a fortune which doesn't belong to him.
No details about the investigation, I'm afraid. I really learned more from Nicole's television report than I did from his letter. Oh, except I did learn that Draper will be coming back to Monticello in about 2 weeks for only about a week. Except now that I've heard Nicole's report, I'm kind of hoping that, it all might mean even better news for me.
Oh, why do you say that?
Well, I'm kind of hoping that maybe if he's in this country, he'll be picked to head the secondary investigation here.
Mm-hmm. I hope so, for your sake. I'm sure you miss him as much as I miss Sky. He went to Chicago for a few days on a business trip, so I'm all alone. Did you just hear that?
Hear what?
I just heard a noise on the telephone. Didn't you hear that?
Must be your imagination.
Maybe. Well, anyway, thanks for calling, and I would like to have lunch with you tomorrow, and then you can tell me some more about Draper. So we'll talk then, okay? I'll see you.
For your local newsboy. And while I was collecting, I just thought I'd stop up to see what you like. As far as I can see, fashionable, beautiful, and very desirable.
She was alive.
Please. Please, you can have anything you want. Just take it and go away.
I'd love to, darling. But there's nothing to take down here. You know, this job is a lot more difficult than I ever intended. And you can make it a lot easier for me if you just take me for a little tour upstairs. Now. The first place you can take me is your bedroom. See what we've got to take there. What's this?
It's my husband's study.
It's locked.
Yes, he keeps it locked.
Where's the key?
He has it.
You're lying.
I'm not lying. He has the key. He doesn't want me in there.
People don't lock up things unless they're valuable. It's all right. I'll unlock it my way. Nothing but papers. Nothing but papers and junk. Come on, let's go. Downstairs.
Okay, he's gonna go away and I'll get you an ambulance. It's not too late.
We're all safe. That's where the ransom's kept. Oh, we're all safe. Rich people always have wall safes. Now, where is it?
I don't know where...
Oh. The picture. I bet you it's behind this picture. Nothing. Nothing at all. You were right, Mrs. Whitney. You were telling me the truth. I guess there's nothing more to this job but the dessert. I promise. This won't hurt a bit.
Oh, God.
Night, dear Howard.
Did you see what he did to your study? He saw that it was locked and thought there might be valuables in there, so he blew the lock off.
It's all right. Locks can be repaired.
Can everything be repaired?
Yes, it can.
I think I'm going to take some of this sleeping stuff. There's a lot I would like to forget.
No, you were right, Raven. This is not a time for sleeping. This is a time for talking. See, I've got something I want to talk about, too.
What?
About a man named Jeff. Jeff Brown.
Jeff Brown? The man that died in the plane crash?
Yes, there was someone who died in that plane crash, Raven, but, well, you know more about my friend than you're letting on, don't you?
What do you mean?
You know, when I lived in the hotel, I didn't keep these pictures and papers, memorabilia with me. They were locked up in a warehouse, but when I bought this house, I thought it would be safe to have them with me, that I could keep them locked up here. It was crazy of me to think that I could keep my secret from you, from my own wife. It wasn't hard with Martine or Gunther or dear old Aunt Geraldine. The aunt who isn't really my aunt.
So it's true.
Oh, you knew that, of course. You've known it for a week or so. Ever since you got into my sanctum sanctorum and saw that photograph of me and Jeff. And that shrewd little brain of yours began to click and put two and two together. What was it that finally did it, Raven? Was it the scar?
Yes.
And then you began asking questions. And then you asked more questions. Until finally you knew. You know who I am, don't you, darling?
Well, I didn't know what to do. I love you, and I didn't know who you were.
But you do know who I am. This is me. The man that you married. And you're going to be just fine. You're going to live happily ever after, and you're going to be Mrs. Schuyler Whitney for the rest of your life.
Do you realize what a shock it was for me when I realized that the man who I was married to wasn't really the man I was married to? I didn't even know you.
But this is me. You do know me. This is me just the way God created me, with a few minor alterations. And then I knew that you had found the key to my study, and that you had been prowling around in here.
Oh, God, it was so stupid. I remember I took the key out and I forgot to put it back.
Don't ever go into the espionage business, darling. You'll never make a go of it.
And then I kept asking questions about the scar and about the crash and about Dr. Bryson. It was Dr. Bryson who did the surgery.
He was a brilliant surgeon, and probably the most discreet man I've ever met. You haven't mentioned this to anyone, have you? Your suspicions?
No, of course not. Who could I possibly talk to? Everyone would think I was crazy. And I didn't want to ruin my marriage.
Not even to Nancy Carr when you asked her to investigate the facts about the plane crash?
No, Nancy Carr just thought I was asking about your past.
How about Aunt Geraldine?
Well, I wanted to talk to her, and I did try to talk to her, but she was the only one I felt that I could talk to.
Is that why she came over here tonight, so you could talk?
Yes, but she didn't know what I wanted to talk about, and I didn't even know she was coming. She said she was going to work late.
Yes, I remember.
I wanted to talk to you. I can't tell you how many times I wanted to run up to